Hey everybody, um, just wanted to make this like a short video. I was actually wanting to know if there was anybody out there that could possibly give me a little bit of insight to a spiritual dream that I had. I've read a lot of different uh, dream interpretation books, um, books about symbolisms and a number of different things, and I've got different, you know, a number of different interpretations. I've asked a few people in the past what this dream could mean. I've looked on the internet at like videos to see what it could possibly mean, but I was just wondering if there is anybody out there who watches my videos that might have a little bit of a spiritual um, dream interpretation. I'd like to to get some feedback if anybody could help me out, with this interpretation. So I remember I had this dream, and it's been a while, but I always think about this dream because it was kind of one of the dreams that pushed me into reading a lot of um, spiritual books. And I had this dream whenever I was doing an associate's degree for pastoral ministry, and I used to spend many hours uh, having to read from the Bible or having to read um, books, uh, so to do my pastoral ministry. And so in this dream, I'm at my I'm at my house that I grew up in, and I was in the back of the house in one of the back rooms where it would have been my parents' bedroom. And I remember in this dream, like there's no furniture, there's no bed, there's nothing. It's just an empty room. But I do remember that it was dark, and I remember seeing a man, and I remember this man had like a big long beard. He was wearing clothes that you would think about like people wore in biblical times. He had a long dark color robe. It wasn't black, but it was a dark color robe, and I remember he had a big beard, and it just reminded me of like something you would think about the men in biblical times. So I remember he was standing in front of me, and I remember he looked at me and he said, "You've got to sacrifice yourself. You've got to sacrifice yourself so that everyone else can live." And in his right hand, he put something in my left hand. And when I looked, it was three silver circles. They looked like it could be like three silver coins, but they didn't have any type of um, writing or anything. They're just flat silver circles. And I remember he had them in his right hand, and he placed them in my left hand. And whenever I looked at them, water started rising inside the room. So next thing you know, it's like the scene changed in my dream, and I'm outside, like in the backyard, and it's daylight. And I remember waters continue to rise, And I remember once it got like around my thigh area, I remember saying in my head, like I remember thinking, I'm not about to sacrifice myself, like I'm not about to do that. And the water continued to rise up, and it looked like the whole town was flooding. Once it got to like around my waist or stomach area, I thought to myself again in my head, I was just like, I'm not about to do it. Like we're all about to go down. Like I'm not gonna do it. Then the water continued to proceed over my head, and I remember looking up, and the water was just continued to go up. And I remember once it went up, I said it in my heart, like, all right, I'll do it. And so those 3 flat silver circles, I placed them in my mouth. And I didn't swallow, but I remember I placed them in my mouth. And when I did, all the waters receded down. And I remember I looked, and there was like a whole group of people, but they were all men. They all had big beards and long robes, just like the first guy. And I walked toward them, and when I was walking toward them, like they kind of like um, split to the side, and I was walking through, and then I woke up, and I was like, man, like it's a tripped out dream, but like I could remember everything very vividly. And I was just like, obviously it's a pretty strong spiritual dream. And I was like, man, at first I'm like, man, I need to stop reading the Bible, so especially like right before I fall asleep, because I'm having a lot of these spiritual dreams. And I automatically noticed uh the number, the 3 flat silver circles. So like a lot of the dreams that I do have, I always see the number 3, or I always see like 3 objects. It's always the number 3, and I know the number 3 is like real big in the Bible. You know, a lot of things revolve into number 3. So I came up with like some of my interpretations of the dreams. I've asked a couple of people who I used to go to church with, or that I believe that they had spiritual gifts as well. They would give me their interpretation, or they would pray about it and everything and give me their feedback. And that's always a dream that's always kind of like, still to this day, I don't know, like without a shadow of a doubt what it means. But if there's anybody out there who has a spiritual gifts, any type of insight, I would love that feedback, just to see, any type of feedback, really. I'm open minded. And I just wanted to share that quick little, because that's something that's one of the main dreams that's like always been on my mind. Like, what did that mean? But that was kind of one of the initial dreams that kind of pivoted me from that point on to take studying seriously, to take reading a lot of mystic and spiritual books, to try to dig deeper and really figure out all of this symbolisms and dream interpretation. But yeah, love to hear any comments and feedback. Blessings and peace to all of you. I just pray that the Most High continues to bless all of us, and that we continue to walk a life that is righteous in His eyes. Hallelujah, everybody. Hallelujah, hallelujah.